You are now tuned into the sounds of
Big Nate Sports Talk.
It's on all the time, anytime.
Friday night, laid back, feeling smooth. Looking for just a little something to get into. Tired of the same old scene.
Hunting for something different, if you know what I mean.
So when I saw you, there was no in between. You came up to me like something from out of my dreams. A woman from the pages of a magazine. Deep inside my heart, you scream. I can't understand. Hey, just wanna hold you. Hey, baby, how you do the things I'm watching you do. Oh, we're in this love. Just wanna make some love. All I wanna do, my girl, is dance with you. Now we're in this club. Your cheek pressed to my face, trying not to lose control, but I ain't got no time to waste, cause I came up in the club,
Standing face to face with perfection.
and it would be a body all over my body.
This is what I'm thinking of.
Hey, woo, I can't understand. I can understand. Just wanna hold you, just wanna hold you.
You are now tuned in to Big Nate Sports Talk, the show that is on all the time, anytime. And now, ladies and gentlemen, your host, Nathan Snell.
Yes, indeed. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is your host, Nathan Snell of Big Nate Sports Talk Podcast. Happy Friday. Hope you're all doing well. Hope you all had a great week. Easter is almost upon us. Hope everyone had a good Friday as we're, again, getting ready for this Easter weekend. Hope everybody has the outfits planned and everything and do something fun, do something special. But this is episode 447 of the podcast. We're going over, recapping the WNBA draft 2025, giving my grades, as you can see here. You can't really see that, but we're breaking down each team. The only team that did not have a grade was the Phoenix Mercury, but before we get into that, there's a few things I want to say up front. When I did the last mock draft, I mistakenly did not put the episode number, which is 446. 448 will be the my NFL mock draft, 437 will be the NFL mock draft 1.0. With Sean Spencer. I'll probably have one more-ish. That'll probably be the mock draft, honestly, and then it'll be the NFL draft grades, honestly, at that point. But and for one final thought, I don't know if you've seen my comment section or the description. I kind of want to dispel some noise regarding the draft. Obviously we know 38 names, 38 players, a new chapter begun. And for some, there was some questionable decision-making when it came to the draft. There were some definitely hits. There were definitely some swings and misses. There definitely should have been some players that should have been valued higher and all those different things. But we're going to get into that with one final thought. And then after that, I'm going to take a little break from the podcast for a little bit until the WNBA season. We've been kind of going nonstop since the NCAA tournament and then this WNBA season. I do have one other video that'll be recorded. That'll be 448 and then in the WNBA season, and then that's about it. We'll get to some baseball at some point, and then the NFL season and some other things like that. But let's get into it. So the WNBA draft, for the most part, I'm just going to go ahead and say it. I really truthfully thought that this draft was clearly underwhelming. I don't think I have two questions. Question number one, I understand we got some new people, like example, Kurt Miller. Kurt Miller is different because he had the first overall pick, so which is no brainer. But like for the Mystics, maybe for the Sun, maybe the Sky, even Golden State, even the Sparks, the Lynx. Are we going by best fit? Are we going by just best player available? or we're just picking the name just because some of these picks were head scratchers. And honestly and truthfully, my grades for them were fair. And I really, really have a couple questions. Because especially for last year, I wrote the number down for 2024. There were 21, undrafted players. And one of them actually was a high first round pick by Connecticut. And Connecticut had back-to-back picks and practically drafted the same position. 2 wing players. So I was kind of confused by that. I thought there were some reaches. I thought there was a couple head scratchers. But for the most part, I also, too, was disappointed in a couple players that got drafted late. And the names didn't get called at all. So let's get into it. I'm going to share my screen so you can see the grades. And again, these grades are final. You guys let me know y'all thoughts on the grades. We're breaking it down by team. So we're going to start with the Atlanta Dream. The Atlanta Dream, they took Tahina Powell. They had the 18th overall pick, and they took Taylor Thierry with the 36th overall pick. I think Tahina will be a great pick for them. I think they need to, for me, Tahina can play off the ball. She can shoot. She can do everything. She can stretch defenses. Perimeter-wise, I think she's going to be great for them. I think this is a guard, especially Dawn, gets you ready for the pros. Her 47% was a no-brainer for me. I gave it a B. I thought it was fair. Taylor, for her as well, I mean, they're both 40% career from the perimeter shooters. I do think that it was a good pickup late, but it's going to be interesting to see how she will compete in training camp. But they definitely, with Taylor, they got somebody who has size, who's great. It's a two-way player. I think could definitely bring potential. But I think Atlanta, to me, they addressed the needs. So I gave the Atlanta Dream, in fairness, I gave them a C. I just really looked at what they had, and I think it was just based on the needs. I gave Tahina, I gave her a B as a grade, and I gave Taylor a C+. Chicago is next. Chicago had 4 picks. They had the 10th overall pick, the 11th overall pick, the 16th and 22nd. They took with the 10th overall pick Aja Savika, Haley Van Lith, Maddie Westbeld, Ashea Kobali. And again, compared to last year too, the Minnesota Lynx and the Connecticut Sun, the Chicago Sky, my apologies, did the exact same thing. Literally gave a last-minute trade, back-to-back picks in the first round, giving up the 2026 pick as well. Weird. So again, Aja's from Slovenia. Obviously, we all know Haley Van Lith at a TCU. My only thing, Haley it was not on my draft board that high. And let's keep it real. She was only drafted simply because of the season she had at TCU, obviously Big 12 Player of the Year, other things like that. But Aja, she's from Slovenia, if I remember correctly, 6'3". She can stretch the floor. She can shoot. Great shot maker. I think can give on the wing is something I thought Chicago needed. I think they addressed that. I already know with Haley, again, like I said, great player. I know has Team USA experience with 3v3. And again, she can learn from Vandersloot, who they got in free agency. But I mean, other than that, I really kind of was a head scratcher with them. I just didn't think Haley was that high of a pick. That was a head scratcher. In fairness, I gave Asia a B plus. Haley got a B. Maddie got a B, and I gave Asha a C. And again, it's based on needs. And if everything goes well for them, they should be okay. But I definitely think that they could have been a little bit better with it. But overall, I gave the Chicago Sky, I gave them a B minus for their draft. Now we're going to go to the Connecticut Sun. I got to give a shout out to Reba. They had the 7th overall pick, they had the 8th overall pick, and they had the 25th overall pick. With the 7th overall pick, they selected Anissa Morrow. With the 8th overall pick, they took Sanaya Rivers. And with the 25th overall pick, they took Raina Marshall. Anissa is in a great situation, I think, especially now that Connecticut's officially rebuilding. I think especially the question is where more than likely should be moving to the 3. They definitely got better. I think they got 2 impact players in Anissa and Sanaya. I know some people may question the Sanaya pick. But I mean, Anissa, we talk about the size, but she's a walking double-double. The Mystics had the 6th overall pick, the 3rd and 4th, and I think the Mystics will regret passing up on Anissa for sure. But especially, the biggest thing we should get her is develop on the offensive side of the ball. And I think Connecticut is definitely a place where you're surrounded by a talent like Tina Charles, Diamond DeShields, and others where I think her game will grow for sure. Sanaya Rivers has the size, has athleticism, and also too, I think it'd be can be a great all ball defender in the WNBA. And again, with her wing size at 6'1", definitely. And again, the Connecticut Sun, if you've paid attention the last few years, have predicated themselves and prided themselves on defense. So I mean, to take a player like that at 8, I think was a steal. And well, same thing. And then Rhea, I think seeing USC through all the good, the bad, and the ugly, I just think you're getting somebody who can learn from Uno, can learn from Tina Charles. I think it would be a great player, especially with rebounding, great defense within the paint, rebounding, interior, all those different things like that. I gave Anissa's pick an A+. I gave Sanaya an A-, and I gave Rhea a B-. I thought those were a fair draft grade. Then we go to the Dallas Wings, and by far the Dallas Wings have seemed to have won the draft. They had the number 1 overall pick, the 12th overall pick, the 14th overall pick, the 27th overall pick, and the 31st overall pick. And they took Paige Beckers with the number 1 overall pick, Isaiah James, Madison Scott, JJ Corneli, and Arnett Vonleh. I think was a solid draft for them, honestly. I do think that they got a little bit of everything. I think they got a little bit of depth, versatile playmaking, defense, and scoring with all 5 picks. I think with Paige, I think it's going to be the best roster I think you'll see the Dallas Wings have on the floor. I think there's a lot of opportunities for growth for everybody to be impactful here. My only concern is out of these 5 picks, outside of Paige, 2 out of 4 are making the team. And I'm going to lean more towards Isaiah James and Madison Scott making the team. Because again, it's just you got Dejanay, then it's Hamisha Hines Allen, you got Nalissa Smith. And also too, you got to look at the money as well. Can't keep, be nice if you could keep everybody, but realistically you can't. But I mean, for me, I'll start with Isaiah James. You're getting a playmaker and a pure scorer. And looking at the tape, she will definitely, as a two-way guard, will definitely love. Arike will love that offensively, especially with the new coach, Coach Coclains. He'll definitely love that for sure. JJ, I think it's very underrated in terms of defense. Can and also can get going early as offensively. And I think Arnett. I think a lot of people. I think she's a sleeper in this draft, especially as a post player. She can, with her low block presence, I think she could definitely um, be a great depth piece behind Tierra McCowan. Now the Kalani Browns in Phoenix, because she is a good rim protector, and she definitely brings a lot to the table with that pick. But other than that, man, I think Dallas definitely got a steal. They got the pick of the litter. I'm giving the Dallas Wings an A plus, and then we move on to the Golden State Valkyries. The Golden State Valkyries. This was they're now the baby sister of the WNBA. This was their first inaugural draft. And just for the record, while I'm on my soapbox for a second, and you're not going to see expansion teams right away be impactful. Okay, it's going to be at least maybe a couple years. I say by 27, 28, Golden State should be competitive. Right now, it's just you're just building right now for the future. And they had the 5th overall pick, they had the 17th overall pick, and they had the 30th overall pick. With the 5th overall pick, they took Josette, and then at 17 they took Cheyenne Sellers, and then at 30 they took Caitlin Chin from UConn at 30.
Game over, yeah!
No, in all seriousness, again, this is just a start. I think that okay. In fairness, I really thought Josette being drafted at 5 was very, very interesting. Again, international players are pro. I understand that. She's 19 and she has the tools. I think she has the potential to be something great in this league. She has great ball handling skills. She's a high level shot maker. She can do a little bit of everything. However, this is are we going by best fit, best available player? That's my questions for the GMs. What were we looking for? And even when we had the media availability with the GMs, I kind of felt like those questions were kind of dodged to an extent. And I just think that there were maybe some better players that were there. I think getting Cheyenne Sellers at 17 in the second round was a steal. I think you're getting a player that's a two-way guard that can play now. I think it's very underrated in defense. She made an all Big Ten team. I put out after I think it was after the USC UCLA game, it should have been a top 5 pick. She's an athlete, very versatile, playmaker. I thought Golden State got a steal with her. And let me just say this on Cheyenne Sellers. This notion that Terrapin fans were quote unquote complaining that she got drafted in the second round. I want to dispel that. I think for a player to be invited to the draft and you're sitting there watching other invitees drafted and to not hear your name called until 17 picks later, that would piss you off. Because I'm looking at other players on this list of grades I question that were drafted ahead of Shy. Because respectfully, you're not going to tell me that there's 5 other guards better than Cheyenne Sellers. And we can make the same argument for others. I mean, there was a guard that was not even drafted, that should have been drafted. And we could kind of have the same logic, but I won't go there. Out of respect, I won't do that. But the point is that we're happy for her that she made a roster. We're happy that she's in Golden State and they're getting a dog. They're getting somebody who's a hard worker. And if you've seen over the last 4 years, her growth, every year she's gotten better as an individual. So I really want to dispel this notion that there were Terrapin fans complaining about her getting drafted so late. I mean, if that was your favorite player, respectfully, you'd feel some type of way about that as well. But I digress. And then Caitlin Chen to UConn. I kind of felt like when Paige shot out her teammates when she was drafted, I kind of just felt like, hey, you know what? Let's just draft Caitlin. So I was really, really interested about that. But just got a B, Shy got a B plus, and I gave Caitlin a C. But I just gave Golden State out of in the final. I just gave them a C because again, this is just the start. I just thought they could have been something better at 5. Personally, I thought they could have, even if they could have made a way to say, hey, Anissa, for example, even if you try to make a trade, something. But that just did not happen. The Indiana Fever, they were all in the second round as well. They had the 19th overall pick, the 20th pick, and the 33rd pick. And then they selected Michaela Thompson with the 19th overall pick, Bree Hall with the 20th pick, and Yvonne Yijin with the 33rd pick. And I like Indiana's draft. I thought especially, I mean, there really wasn't a lot they needed to fulfill. I mean, their free agency kind of spoke for itself, getting DeWanna Bonner, Cunningham, re-signing Kelsey Mitchell. I think the biggest thing was just really just getting some defensive-minded players. And I think right off the bat, Michaela Thompson and Bree Hall really really stick off top of your head for sure. And I think, again, same thing. It's going to be interesting to see how training camp comes. I like, I'm sorry, Timpson, not Thompson. Especially with those two, look at the tape with Michaela. I think their defenses, I think Coach White will definitely love to have players like that. Bree Hall, I think, arguably is one of the best defenders. Solid firsthand in the Sweet 16 against when they played Maryland. And then Yvonne, I saw a little bit of tape of her. She's a post player. I think that could be size for them for sure. And then also too, like with, I'll say that for later. But I gave Indiana as a final grade. I gave them a B for their draft. That was actually a great draft, just for the record. And with the next team, the Las Vegas Aces actually had to forfeit their first round pick, obviously because of the ongoing investigation into the regarding De'Arica Hamby, who's now with the Sparks. So they had the 13th overall pick and the 35th overall pick. And I think that these two ladies are going to make the team. And I'm going to give the Aces a B, B plus. They took Aaliyah Nye out of Alabama and Harmony Turner out of Harvard. I definitely thought was a steal for sure. And especially both players are shot creators and shot makers, and also to bring defense. And I think that's something Becky Hammond will definitely love for sure. Outside of Sarah Ashley Barker and Zay Green, when I was at the Maryland game, Aaliyah Nye is somebody that is a force to be reckoned with. She's, I believe, shot over 46% this past season, shoot over almost 45% from the perimeter. She can stretch the floor. She can create space for a player like Asia Wilson. You will love that for sure. Harmony Turner, I think, especially for an Ivy League player, her story, I think, playing 3v3, just one hell of a player. I think she's going to do great things for sure. Was one of the top scorers in the country. I think almost averaging 23 points. I think it was around like 22 and a half, but like 22 and a half points per game. And actually surpassed over 2,000 points. So, you're getting scoring from both players. And I think they're definitely going to build something with the depth. I definitely do think the rotation with Vegas, I still think there's some things they got to figure out. But I definitely think that these definitely for sure were steals for the Las Vegas Aces. And we're actually going to, for a quick second, we're going to take a quick break because we have a couple more teams. We have the Sparks, Lynx, Liberty, Mercury, Storm, and my favorite, the Washington Mystics. But we're going to take a little break, and we'll be right back, ladies and gentlemen, with this little commercial break. All right, and we're back. So with this pick, with the Los Angeles Sparks, they had the 9th overall pick, the 21st overall pick, and the 28th overall pick. Now, you're going to hear me say this again. And again, I'm going based on how this looked like. It just was another example of best available player. And was this a reach? We'll see. With the 9th overall pick, the Sparks took Sarah Ashley Barker out of Alabama. With the 21st overall pick, they took South Carolina's own Sanaya Fagan. And then number 28, they took Latu King. I gave the Sparks a B-. And let me explain why I gave them a B-. Now, I really do think Sarah going at 9 was a bit of a stretch. That was a little like almost Haley. But again, because of, I think, the 45 points against Maryland, I really think really improved her draft stock. And again, Sarah is a player that can shoot the hell out the ball. She has high IQ. And I think you can see it on both sides of the ball. Sanaya, I think was right there. Actually, where am I on the notes? When I look, yeah, no, I had Sanaya right there, mid second round. I actually had an early second round. 21 was not bad at all for her. You're getting an efficient post player. I think her mid range speaks for itself. She shot over 60% this season. I think she's going to be great for the Sparks, and especially until Cam Brink comes back. I think you're definitely you can see her definitely getting some early opportunities for sure for them alongside Asbury Stevens. But her ceiling there for sure is high. As far as same thing with King, we just got to see. But again, that was more for depth. But I think out of those three, I think Sarah and Sanaya will make the team. But yeah, I think giving the Sparks a B was fair. The next team, the Minnesota Lynx. This is interesting. They had the 15th overall pick, 24th overall pick, and the 37th overall pick. And I gave them a C. I just don't really think there was a lot they could do. They really have, and also too, the offseason didn't really help as well. I thought they were one of the most quiet off seasons. I really, really love to know why you would trade your 11th overall pick. I mean, you get a 2026 first round pick. I mean, that's nice. But I actually think they ended up trading that to the Mystics as well for Carly. No, we gave up Carly Samuelson for their first round pick, if I'm not mistaken. And then they have Chicago's first round pick. So I need my clip.
Relationship with your
Oh
children.
my God.
Yeah. Yeah, that this was a head scratcher for Minnesota. I really, really didn't know what to really grade them. But the 15th overall pick, they took Anasia Olorikasu, Dalea Daniels, and Aubrey Griffin out of UConn. I thought their biggest needs was perimeter shooting, and they really didn't do that. I mean, their roster is pretty much the same. I mean, they lose Mike Shines Allen, and they did lose Cecilia. I can't pronounce her last name, but she's now in Golden State. But again, another example of a draft and stash prospect. And Anicia, I think, is a great player. Looking at some of her tape, she's from Russia. I think will definitely bring some scoring, and especially, I believe my understanding, 19, and she's played against many of the ladies that are currently in the W. She's a great rebounder, has a great skill set, all those different things. I just really thought it was a really reach for them. And I thought they could have done better with this draft. And Aubrey Griffin, God bless her, I know with injuries and all those different things like that. But yeah, that was yeah, that was something. We're going to go to New York. They just had one pick, and that was the last pick of the draft. And they took Aja Kane. There was really, again, they're the champions, and they again, another international pick. And she is, I believe, a player in France. I believe she was actually on the under 20 Euro basketball team this past year. Very athletic. And that's, again, drafted status. I just gave them a B. She should be good. I believe, from my understanding, look at the tape. She's just she has it all. Again, it's just, what are we valuing? Are we valuing best fit or just available talent? Because this was very underwhelming. And then the team that had no draft picks, the Phoenix Mercury, they drafted non-applicable. Non-applicable will be a great star, will be an MVP the next 3 to 5 years in this league. No, they didn't have any draft picks. They will have to depend on training camp contracts, and again, they're very top heavy. So, Phoenix is NA. I was nice enough to give them NA. I wanted to give them an F, but again, they just had no draft picks. Brendan Potts is going to hate me for this, and that's okay. The Seattle Storm, they had the 2nd overall pick, the 26th overall pick, 29th overall pick and the 34th overall pick. With the second overall pick, they took Dominique Magnola, Serena Sardell at 26, Madison Connor 29, and Jordan Hobbs at 34. And I gave Seattle a B. I thought Serena should have been drafted a little higher than 26. That's okay. But I think Dominique will be a great player. At 6'6", I think she has this. My concern is, especially with international players, is the transition from international to the pros. This, even though people say the skills are the same, it's a different game. So I think she'll transition well, but I think she's learning behind Nneka Ogwumike and as the Magna Gore, I think she'll pick it up really quick. I mean, at 19, her ceiling is high. I predict within the next 2 years, you could have an MVP.
Guaranteed.
I could see that. Serena Sardell, to me, is a pure point guard. Again, Kansas State, I believe, 262 assists. I was shocked to go that deep in the third round. So fell to Seattle, fell into Seattle. Was not fair. Her size, IQ, all those things like that, I think will definitely, for sure. Seattle will like for that. And then on top of that, with Jordan Horston and Nika Mule confirmed that they're out for this upcoming season. It definitely for sure. She will definitely be an impact player for sure. And man, I gave Dominique an A. I gave Serena a B plus. I gave Madison a B. Jordan Hobbs, I gave a C plus. I know Brendan might hate me for this, but that's okay. We could agree to disagree. He said if it wasn't an A, he was going to jump me. No, I'm just kidding. But but the biggest thing was guard play, because especially with Jewel not there now, you're getting a primarily ball handler alongside Skylar. So I like that for sure. Oh my gosh, gotta scroll over. There we go. And then with the Washington Mystics, my apologies, ladies and gentlemen. Last but not least, the Washington Mystics are officially in rebuilding mode. It's a new era. Mike Tebow is no longer at the helm of GM and Eric Tebow no longer the head coach. And Elena Deladon is retired and is now working in the front office for Monumental.
Game over, yeah!
I can't defend that. What do you want me to say to that?
So we have the 3rd, 4th, 6th, 23rd, and 32nd overall pick. With the 3rd overall pick, we took Sonia Cintron. With the 4th overall pick, we took Kiki Arifin. With the 6th overall pick, we took Georgia Amore. With the 23rd overall pick, we took Lucy Olson. And with the 32nd overall pick, we took Zay Green. Washington Mystics got an A-. I didn't give him an A+ for one reason. I think I got 1 of 3 correct. And that was Sonia. I knew getting Sonia was going to be a no-brainer for the Mystics. I preferred Anissa and Shy, but that's okay. I think Kiki, to me, it's going to be interesting to see how that will look, because now with Carly gone, you have Emily Inksler, Sika Kone, Shakira, Aaliyah, Steffi Dolson. That's a lot of that's a lot of bigs. So I'm assuming we're probably going to move Kiki to the 3. Georgia at 6 with her size. What are we doing? I think Georgia would be a great player, but we are essentially needing time for her to develop. I think she has great IQ. She created on shot, different things like that. But she's going to need to be play. There's going to needs to be somebody to play alongside her. But Sonia is I think is a two-way on-ball defender. I think with Errol Atkins in Chicago, I think getting Sonia was no brainer for sure. Lucy Olson out of Iowa. I think a lot of people. I actually am not mad at that. She's a good playmaker. She's a playmaker. She can score. And then again, Zay Green, same thing. You know, coming from was it Arkansas Bluff, and then at Alabama. You know, she's a versatile scorer, and she is a very underrated passer. There's about, I think, until these 5 young ladies were drafted, I think 5 open spots. So all of them more than likely will be contributing from day one of the WNBA season. But in fairness, these are fair grades. I just need to see how it all looks on the court. And also, too, it just was, again, I think it was just best available player. Personally, I would have liked to have seen Diamond Johnson or even Zay Green both drafted there at 32 or even 23 or even at 6, personally. But for the most part, I think the Mystics may have gotten it right. I do think they will regret passing up on Anissa, though, for sure. Because I feel like that's another draft where I feel like we've passed up on the best player. We're going with the safety pick, but that's neither here nor there. Those are my grades for the teams, and let me know you guys' thoughts. And just really quick, the best dressed of the night this past Monday was I will say Kiki Arifin was number 1. Number 2, I will say Sonia. 3, I will say I'm actually going to say Serena Sundell because she kept it simple at number 3. I thought Madison Scott didn't look bad if we just had the outfit tailored a little bit better, but other than that, she looked good. Sanaya, that had a lot going on. I thought Shy looked good. I thought Shy and Sellers looked good. Y'all gotta leave Faith alone too. Let me stop. But no, I thought Shy looked good. I think those are probably said my top 5, top 6 fits that of the best of dressed, in my opinion. For sure. But I think who missed out the most in terms of the draft, I would say the Mystics won this draft for sure. Because again, I think you're looking at it from a standpoint of now you're building. And again, like to me, next year, everyone's a free agent, and why not rebuild? Because really, you know, in another year or two, where I think everybody's right there. I think we have the roster that can compete. You know, I think the future's bright. You've got I see the vision. You know, a healthy Shakira Austin, year 2 Aaliyah Edwards, you know, because that's who I think you're building around. You know, Could I have done a little bit? Could I have made some moves with either of those picks? Could I like try to say, I'll give you this and this for this? Nah, that'd be nice, but it's not realistic. But the fact that we got to, according to most, 3 out of the top 5 players on the board, and especially I think that they could definitely I'd say within 3 years, I think be playoff contenders. I think we'll definitely for sure be something, because again, I think Kiki more likely will be a 3, because I just see Ali and Kiki kind of the same player in my opinion. Then you have Georgia backing up Slim, and then Sonia's playing the 3. Kira, I mean, it's it's looking beautiful out there. It's barbecue chicken, and the Mystics, even though people might sleep on them, like when I think when it give it like another year or two, like that's a team I would be a force to reckon with. I mean, we gotta be patient with this team, and for sure. I'm kind of going to give Golden State a pass because again, this is their first season, and typically in your first year as an inaugural team, you're not going to really do things, and your window, especially, is about for any team to compete in 3 to 5 years. I use that same thing in football, baseball, depending on the size of the market, and all those different things like that. I mean, they didn't really make a lot of moves this off season, but I think they have things that they can build off on. Like Shy Sellers, I think is a steal. I think the reason she fell that low was because of her knee injury. But I think she can definitely be a great off-ball guard for them. I think it's very versatile, and even as a playmaker, as a point guard, even though people say she can't be a point guard. But that has been proven wrong, in my opinion. And Connecticut, I think, was a team that I think that really kind of could have been better, because Connecticut, correct me if I'm wrong, clear my notes, they took Leah Leshin from France last year. So I'm a little confused with what that was. But I mean, I think they're in good situations, Anissa and Sanaya for sure. But I'm just trying to figure out the makeup of this roster now that, again, it's a completely new team now that Ty Harris, AT, DeWanna Bonner, Bree Jones, DJ Carrington are all gone. So, but also too, like, Connecticut's not, and I think also too, like, I think we can officially like kind of dispel this notion that Connecticut's a bad place to play. So yeah, yeah, that's a whole other subject for another video. But outside of that, I thought Chicago kind of could have been a little bit better. I think trading for the 11th overall pick, that was a choice. I think getting Haley Van Lith was a reach. I'm sorry. I think she's a great player. I get it. She, number one, she chose to go to LSU. And again, there's nothing that screamed first round pick. Serena Sardell, Shy Sellers. I would have even said Tahina. Were all could have been better choices instead of Haley, and that's no shade. I just think that, again, behind Courtney Vandersloot, you're taking a guard that's more of a shot creator and not a pure shooter, and I think can also be very streaky at times. So I just don't see it. And again, especially, why did you also had the 10th overall pick and you kind of took the same player, Jeff? So I thought they lost the draft for sure. I think that this draft's going to kind of come back to bite them in the what. But we'll see. Outside of that, I mean, hey, listen, I thought the draft was fair. I was just disappointed. Like I said, there were some teams, some players that didn't get drafted, which we'll talk about in one final thought. But outside of that, man, for 38 for 38 young late for the 38 young women, it's a new chapter for them. I wish them all the best as they get ready for training camp. The turnaround is really, really quick. And then and it has to be changed for sure. So again, congratulations to all those that were drafted. And with that being said, we're actually going to get into one final thought.
Thoughts are running through my mind, so I took some time to find a minute or two to organize them.
All right, the one final thought is I'm disappointed that a couple players were not drafted. Deja Kelly and Diamond Johnson, particularly, were not drafted. There were some other players as well that should have been considered drafted. And unfortunately, are there politics? Yes, I will agree to that. But again, it goes back to my initial statement that I made at the beginning of the video. With these front offices, are you looking at the best fit, or you're just drafting the best player? Because, for example, there's no way in hell, no disrespect, I'm not throwing shade at Zay. I think Zay is a good player. But if you looked at, I looked at Diamond's numbers, I looked at Zay's numbers. Diamond statistically had better numbers this year. And I really, really think the optics on her not getting drafted says a lot. And then the year that they had, especially at Norfolk State, I really, really thought would have done some great things. Now, I get it. Like I can go down the list of players that have been drafted from HBCUs, but I think it's just weird that a player of her caliber in the last 5 years, you've just seen the growth of her game, just not get drafted. I mean, Georgia Amore is probably an inch taller than her, and was drafted. And correct me if I'm wrong, even Diamond at times did not run point. It was Kiara Miller that ran point, because I know she's now going to West Virginia, if I'm saying that correctly. So I mean, if it's because of her size, I think that's bullshit. Excuse my language. Because then there's some GMs that should be fired, because there's players that should be, that I think have, whether you're 5'10", 7'1", I kind of question why some of them are in the W. But that shouldn't take away the success that Diamond had in college. And, again, I look at a player like Zay, who I use her as an example. The NCAA tournament helped her draft stock. The same way with Sarah Ashley Barker, Aaliyah Nye. That tournament helped their stock. I think also, too, that kind of played a role. But I still believe Diamond's going to get an opportunity. I believe Deja Kelly got a training camp contract with the Aces. So congratulations for her. Oh, and also, too, can y'all stop with this, that she's the reason that RJ Davis and Caleb Love went to Arizona? Can y'all stop that bullshit, please? My God. That's so annoying. But no, Deja Kelly, was another one that was surprised to get drafted. We're not going to talk about the other player from TCU that played alongside Haley Van Lith that didn't get drafted. I'm not going to talk about that. They weren't drafted as well. I was really hoping Sarah Tibiasu would have gotten some love from Maryland, especially the second half of the year where her game really picked up. Madison Hayes was another one. I was surprised he didn't get drafted. It's a couple other players, but this is the sported way of business. I hate it. I wish I could get everyone in the league, but that's just how it is. But it's not how it starts; it's how it finishes, and everyone's journey in the WNBA is different. But I again wish all 38 of those women whose names were called the best, and even those that didn't get their names called. I believe that they'll get an opportunity. It may not come tomorrow, it may not come next week, but I believe the opportunity is coming. Just be patient, and also too, use this as motivation. Make people make some of these GMs and scouts for the reminder, like, hey, I think you regret not drafting me or passing up on me. So that's my 2 cents, and that's my one final thought. But that's all I really want to say for that. That's actually going to conclude this episode of Big Nate Sports Talk Podcast. I hope you enjoyed this episode. You guys let me know your thoughts on this episode, on your team, how they think they did. Like I said, be tuned in for the NFL mock draft with Sean Spencer. That's episode 437. We're playing catch up on that. And then that'll be it until the NFL draft. I'll do the grades for that. I got one other video that's going to come out probably sometime next Thursday or Friday. Excuse me. And then there's WNBA season. And then, I take a little break from Maryland Sports Blog and TeamNBSMedia. So get ready to get back with them as soon as I can. But for now, got one more episode. Then we'll take a little break. It's been it was an interesting collegiate season, and this draft really kind of sets the tone for next year's draft because oh boy, this draft was bad. I hate it. That's enough talk. But please like, comment, and subscribe for our future content. This is your host, Nathan Snell. Again, I hope you all have a great Easter. Hope you all do something fun. Hope you all have the outfits planned. Hope you all have everything ready out. And again, it's supposed to be beautiful weather. Do something fun. Stay safe. Also, to send my thoughts and prayers to those that were affected with the Florida State shooting. Praying for those individuals. Reached out to a couple people out there that I know that live in Florida. They're doing all right, thank God. But yeah, man, just make sure you check on loved ones, stay safe. And also too, man, it's another day, and supposed to be nice this weekend, do something fun. But again, I'm out. Peace. Stay up. Thank you for tuning in. The 25 people shot the y'all on Twitter. And again, we'll see you soon. Peace. Stay up.
It's Friday night and I hit up the crew. Grab the keys, jump in my ride.
Thank you for tuning in to Big Nate Sports Talk. If you enjoyed that episode, be sure to like, subscribe, and share Big Nate Sports Talk. It's on all the time, anytime.
And I want to thank you. All I want to do is say thank you. It's Friday night and I hit up the crew. Grab the keys, jump in my ride. Cruise the town and can find something new. Hit the club, the DJ's got the dance floor in a groove. And none of that compares to when I turn around and saw you. I can't understand it, girl. How you do the things I'm watching you do. While we're in this club, hey, all I wanna do is dance with you. I wanna dance with you. The moment that I saw your face, I knew I wasn't leaving till I got a chance to know you. But I'm still nervous, trying not to lose my cool.